Protecting homes and businesses from the whims of nature, you need more than just quality materials. You require RiverLand Roofing. Licensed, insured, and certified, RiverLand Roofing offers not only the assurance of excellence, but a tailored approach to your unique structural needs and budget. To learn more about what RiverLand Roofing can do for you and the community, call them at 662-644-4297 or visit riverlandroofing.com.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to a special edition of Talk of Champions live from SEC Media Days. I'm Billy Embody. With me is Ben Garrett. This is presented by our friends at RiverLand Roofing. Everything we do at RebelGrove is powered by RiverLand Roofing, and they sent us here to collect content, collect interviews, and boy, day one of SEC Media Days has certainly hit for us in that regard.
It has been a long day, and a wild day, but and a very jam-packed day, but man, a productive day. And I'll tell you, I love the College Football Hall of Fame. It's my first time ever being here.
Yeah, very cool.
And the setup they've got for Media Days, and you've been to a lot of them too. Like I've been to, I want to say this is like 15 for me. Yeah. This one's pretty special, man. Just the layout of it and all the people. It's a big family reunion. A lot of familiar faces that you're getting to see, like Cole Cubic is over here. We see Dottery over here. We talked to Rusty and Cayden and Austin Simmons and all the Ole Miss players, including Lane in the local thing. It's just been a really cool experience. And, of course, RiverLand Roofing powers all of it. They've been great to us, 662-644-4297, riverlandroofing.com. We're sitting here with you can't see the tablecloth, but it's a RiverLand tablecloth. People walking up going, oh, RiverLand? Yeah, the roofing contractor. And Mississippi but yeah, man, it's been a really, really cool day. And you can tell that football is getting closer. Thank goodness for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely know what you mean there. And look, Lane Kiffin spent some time with us in the local media scrum. Not too much coming out of there, of course, but some updates. An
interesting question at the end about whether Cayden is going to be a good player again, which I was like, this is not a local person. How did this person get into this room? Like, really? Did you not know that Cayden didn't drop a single pass? Was their second leading receiver last year? But no, he was good, man. I thought the little wink about Nick Saban stuff was the funniest thing.
That was put on a platter earlier today. Greg McElroy saying that, it wouldn't be surprising to some close to the situation that Nick Saban would return to coaching. Of course, we'll see if that happens. But Lane Kiffin doesn't really think it's going to work out for him to end up on his staff.
Right. Not on Ole Miss's staff. But, of course, he leaves it open-ended like Lane does everything and just winks to local people like, oh, but, yeah, he's still got the itch. He still got the thing. Maybe he could – I don't know. But it was really funny fun to see not just Lane but Austin and TJ Dottery. I know TJ he's had the time of his life here today. Yeah. And it's really cool to see the next wave of Ole Miss football and them getting their turn and them getting to talk let the rest of the nation get to know them in that way. And the one question I've been asked, I did text Zags just a minute ago. They wanted me to ask me about Ole Miss, man. I don't think people quite understand that, yes, Ole Miss is losing a lot, but everybody around here still thinks Ole Miss is ready to compete. I don't know whether they're going to get picked here this week, but the portal king stuff is like
it resonates.
It resonates.
Yeah,
it really
nationally.
does. It does. And you talk to Rusty, you talk to any number of people around here. We've got Texas people, we've got Mississippi State people, you name it. They'll say, well, there's a lot of question marks, but this Ole Miss team, they really believe they're right there contending again, and nothing but good things about Lane Kiffin and what he's built. It's really cool to see the growth from where Ole Miss used to be as kind of like one of those before the main act.
You just kind of hope for a flash in now it's not.
Yeah, but in the SEC Media Days, Ole Miss used to be the warm-up act for better stuff.
Yeah.
And now
overshadowed by like an LSU on the same day. Yep.
And Clark Lay's down there from Vanderbilt talking. They kind of dealing with that right now. But like Ole Miss is a topic of conversation everywhere you go around here, and it's really cool to see that growth, and then to see the new faces like Cayden, who's just a great dude, get that opportunity in that spot. Like it's been really fun.
And the nation is going to find out, I think, a lot about Austin Simmons, Cayden Lee in a big way this year when they get to showcase their chemistry. And we talked with Cayden about that a little bit. And we'll have a lot of interviews. We're going to sprinkle some of them in on this episode. And then we've got, interviews with Rusty Manziel. We've got other folks that have come on the show and talked with us. And then we're going to drop those throughout kind of the lead up to fall camp as well. So we're going to have some of those interviews bagged. We're here for another 2 days in Atlanta. We're meeting with some of our of the newly rebranded RebelGrove subscribers Tuesday night. So we're looking forward to that. You can sign up for just $1 for your first week at RebelGrove.com.
Where are we meeting up?
I don't know if that's been confirmed, but it's going to be about 8 o'clock at night on Tuesday. I know one of our subscribers just dropped a list. Like, if you ever need to go to Atlanta, our guy on the board has us covered. So we're going to finalize the location on the board here. We've been going through it as far as things to do. So
hopefully it'll be family friendly. I got my wife and kids with me. They're going to come. So come meet the whole Garrett clan. It was funny because this is Ole Miss Day, and my kids and wife they don't care the least about anything sports wise. But I said, hey, y'all can come over. You can see Lane and meet the players. And the only thing I got back was from my 13-year-old. She's like, Daddy, is Jackson Dart there?
Yeah.
I know Honey's a New York Giant now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So but yes,
we'll see him when he plays the Saints.
Yeah, I don't know, but, it's a cool deal, and y'all come out Tuesday, man. We'd love to see y'all and love to hang out. And like I said, you'll meet the whole Garrett clan, even though they won't know what the heck we're talking about, because they still thinking Jackson Dart starting for us or something. It's crazy.
They're dreaming. Don't shoot down their dreams. For TJ Dottery, I thought him sitting with us, obviously a lot of fun. You know him very well, but to see him, those are the type of players that aren't going to land on an all SEC team, in my opinion. Preseason, and he knows that Pete Golding defense. He's one of those guys that they clearly trust to be out in front of the media, and they just play really well out in the space too. So it's cool to see those guys, get the broader attention that maybe they don't necessarily get, but they're perfect for an event like this.
Oh, absolutely. And I thought it was interesting. There's been some people ask on the board at RebelGrove that, why not Suntaran Perkins? Why didn't he go? He's the highest ranked. He's the highest rated guy, the first round projected draft pick. I promise you, they probably approached him first, and Sonny was like, "No, I'm good.
I'm good."
This isn't about this isn't the life for him. He's about that ball and just going about his time. But for TJ, you're right. This is a real opportunity for him because he is overlooked in terms of all SEC and all these kind of things. And I remember I was talking to him in the summer for Talk of Champions. We did a podcast together, and we wrapped it up, and I actually asked him about it. He was like, look, man, I'm going to win the buckets. The expectations for Ole Miss, the way they talk is different. And, I don't doubt that Bull could go out there, and Bull Dottery could go out there and potentially lead Ole Miss in tackles and be for a 10-win Ole Miss team and, potentially get into that kind of conversation. Like, the expectations, it's all the same. Austin Simmons walking out here confident. TJ's walking around here confident. K's walking around here confident. It's really cool to see him get his turn because in a defense that was legendary, historic last year, TJ Dottery was the second leading tackler, and honestly, he's probably not one of the top 5 people you mentioned from last year's defense. So knowing that he's getting this showcase, not just at media days, but in this important year for him just personally, it's really cool, man. And I'm excited to see what he does with it. Same thing with Cayden and with Austin, because Austin's been the hottest, topic of discussion around here. Everybody wants to talk about Austin Simmons. Go over there with Texans, they want to talk about Austin Simmons. And Austin's, I really thought that Rusty had a good point. The league's going to adjust to Austin, how he adjusts back. Right now, he's the darling of the ball, and everybody remembers what he did against Georgia. The question now is, can you do it over the course of a, hopefully 15-game season, not just 12-game season, which we don't know yet. But as far as this stuff goes, man, what a day it was for Ole Miss, man. Because, you walk around here, and I remember the old times. I remember when Ole Miss would bring guys, and they would have a few guys at their podium. Now, Austin Simmons is covered up like he's like a Justin Bieber at this kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like a full table of guys want to talk to him. It's really cool to see the maturation of Ole Miss and to see these players get this turn.
A couple of pieces of news, at least. Lane Kiffin did address the departures of Kelvin Bolden, Alex Brown, Marvin Nash is now out the door as well. No rush, like we kind of mentioned on the message board. With talking with some of our subscribers, this is a position and a time of year, or these positions in the recruiting and personnel staffing departments, that they're not necessarily going to have to fill right away. It's a dead period. Guys can't visit again until September.
That's right.
You also can do different things with them, and Lane kind of alluded to that, and that's kind of the general early feel that I've gotten. Is it's not going to be they're going to go out and hire a new director of recruiting strategy who goes on the road and does this and that. They might hire somebody of that pay caliber. They might pay somebody at that level, but they do have some different maybe ideas of
that's right.
what they could do depending on who they end up going out and interviewing and talking with. And okay, all right, if we get this guy, what does it mean for the director of player personnel role, which that title is going to be a title for somebody. But it just is something where Billy Glasscock, Lane Kiffin, they're working through what that process looks like.
And I thought it was really important to ask them and to ask Lane and to hear him talk about is like the reception to those jobs out there. Like, has there been an overwhelming response? What's the response been like? And because Ole Miss is a different caliber of job than it used to be. And he, I think him talking about how, of course, so many people want to talk to him and stuff. Like, they don't have to shoehorn themselves into hiring a director of high school and JUCO, whatever,
some crazy title. Yeah,
they want to go find the best recruiting guy, and they'll work the titles out at another time.
Yep.
But the response has been great. Fortunately, it happened when it did. If it was going to happen, you want it to happen now because they can take their time. Yep. And Billy Glasscock's going to make this hire. And you mentioned this on the board recently. Like, they've got this convention coming up with different coaches that they'll be able to interview too. There's some questions about, is Dante Moncrief a part of this? I think there's some conversation about bringing him in some type of role if they can make it work. But they're still very much in the kind of workshopping phase of this, right? They don't even know necessarily what they're looking for. They're just looking for the right guy, if that makes sense. They don't have to hire a high school recruiting or a in-state recruiting guy. For them, it's about finding the best person to slide into what they already do, and then they'll work the rest of it out. They just want to find a really good guy. And so I think Dante could factor in a number of ways. Alex Falk wants to be back here. I mean, I think that's obvious at this point. But yeah, no rush, and they have the time. And Lane, he ain't going to show his cards either way, but you can tell he ain't sweating this.
And these positions, sorry to cut you off.
No, I do it way too often.
Yeah. in these positions, it's not like a coach. It's right. Just done differently. So I know we've had some questions on the board of who are the candidates. When we get something that we feel good enough with, and we are able to say something that won't impact our potential future relationship with somebody too, because that's important. If they're going after somebody, that's important for us.
And it's a very loaded question too.
And these guys aren't paid. Sorry, like they're not paid like coaches where if it gets out and something happens, these coaches are going to be okay. The recruiting staffers, they're not paid enough to be sitting on loads of cash to risk, take the risk like that and have it out there.
And there's a couple of things about this job in particular that's really emerged for me. Number one, Kelvin, as great as he was for Ole Miss, there were everybody has flaws, everybody has issues. It wasn't perfect, and I know that Kelvin lost a little bit of trust in certain ways, especially with the Deion Smith thing, specifically. Deion, while others thought there's no way in heck this kid's getting qualified, Kelv's thinking, we're getting him, he's coming, he's going to be good, and it didn't work out. And I know that was a mark against him in a lot of ways. He'd been passed over for other jobs already, on-field jobs. Yeah. So, I don't begrudge Kelvin for going to LSU. Yeah. And again, the timing is fine, but I know that the hire, whoever it is going to be Lane's earned the trust. You got to go with what he is. So when you're talking about who are the candidates, well, old days we'd say, well, Alex Falk is a candidate, but he's just expressed interest, right? That doesn't necessarily make him a candidate. Yeah. Dante Moncrief has expressed interest. That doesn't necessarily make him a candidate. Yep. And that's why it's a very loaded, kind of open-ended thing, because that's what those jobs are designed to be, is completely open-ended. Yes. Whatever they need that job to be.
You need to be a communicator, evaluator, a host on camp. I mean, anything that's these recruiting staffers, they don't get paid enough for a reason. So hopefully everybody's listening out there and heard me say that. That's something that they deserve. They deserve pay raises.
Because and that's what I'm saying. Kelvin wasn't just the in-state guy, right? And I think that's where there's kind of been a disconnect as far as what the public thinks of these positions and what how Ole Miss views these positions particularly. So because it's not like Ole Miss is they got to find somebody to go take care of Mississippi because Kelvin is gone, right? The primary for Nolan Wilson is Randall Joyner, right? Now they might want to find somebody else because it ain't going that particularly well right now. But I think they're leaving it intentionally open-ended
to see what comes.
Because the reception has been so good so far. They've gotten a good response, and if you got guys like an Alex Falk, who Shug's accomplished in that space particularly, that wants the job. if that's your floor, you're doing pretty darn good for yourself.
Yeah. We do have multiple interviews lined up for this episode. We're going to drop Cayden Lee and TJ Dottery. Those are two leadoff ones. I want us to hold, if we do get our one-on-one with Austin Simmons, just as we're recording this, we haven't gotten him yet.
Not yet.
But if he lands any sort of, all SEC, like maybe fringe buzz, I don't know. He probably won't, just because he is not being talked up enough by the talking heads. But
okay, who do you think is going to be the all SEC
Garrett Nussmeier, Lenora Sellers.
Yeah.
I'm probably missing one. Diego Pavia, potentially.
Arch isn't getting there, right?
I don't know. Arch could. DJ Lagway could. We could see one of these young
votes. Why can't Austin?
I agree.
If Arch can get votes, then Austin should get votes because they're essentially in the same career place. You know what I mean? Like I don't understand.
They've each played a little bit. They've both shown flashes.
Yeah. But he plays for Texas and he's the Ole Miss quarterback. All feelings die hard, friends.
Yeah.
But even while Ole Miss walking around here, their story all day. I guess Austin, though, isn't getting the same kind of love because Arch has got the name and the Texas brand behind him. Bottom line is, man, like Austin, he's ready to roll. The league is going to adjust to him.
Yeah,
and how he adjusts back.
He's going to get punched in the mouth much more than he did by Georgia, which is a crazy thing to say, regardless of how long ago that was. But he does face a new challenge. It's enrolling early, and then it's graduating early, and it's being the understudy for Jackson Dart, and all of these challenges.
Like I've asked him this, and he doesn't really give us an answer. Like, what does he do that he's graduated early? Does he take basket weaving just so he can play football?
I don't know. You got to take these communications classes, right? Like, I don't know.
I was thinking as
a journalism comms major, I'm like, that was pretty easy.
You take journalism classes, buddy, you'll be sailing through. You know what I mean? Yeah. Go find Marvin Williams if he's still at Ole Miss teaching classes in journalism. Marvin was my guy. So no, but I think Austin, man, he's in the position to really. I mean, this could be right off the bat. I mean, he could stake his place and make a name for himself and rocket ship it. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like he's draft eligible. I'm not saying he's going to have that kind of year. I'm not saying that, but I am saying that. Are you saying it's out of the realm of possibility that you'd be foolish to say that?
Yeah, well, and you could argue, at least here we go. Like on paper, because we haven't seen all this come together. But on paper, man, I don't know. It's easy to do this hindsight 2020, but when I go back and I watch last year's Ole Miss team, the wide receiver position versus this year's team,
who's better?
I know, you can have that conversation. I think at least on paper, not knowing how they're going to do in 25, but knowing what we know now about how 24 panned out. I mean. Who's to say Dazon Stribling is not going to be a really good performer for them? Cayden Lee, we think we know what we're going to see out of him.
Well, there's the thing if you really think about it, of all the wide receivers, they lost everybody but Cayden. But of those wide receivers last year, who was the most consistent across the board?
Cayden Lee.
Yeah, he was his greatest ability was his availability.
Yep.
Trey has always had durability questions, and now he's a holdout for the Chargers, which is
crazy.
Look. Texans went and guaranteed a second rounder full money, fully guaranteed contract, and now all of them are trying to get it. I don't blame him for it. Go get it, young buck. But Trey couldn't stay on the field a lot of the time. Juice was up and down.
Yep.
He was really up and down. Cayden didn't drop a pass. He was there every single game. He has the best chemistry of anybody with Austin. It's really funny because you asked him specifically about his relationship with Austin. I've talked to Cade for a couple of years now, and him and Austin are thick as thieves. Yep. You know what I mean? Like they're roommates.
That helps.
Yeah,
that helps.
That's a big deal. And I'm not going to lie to you, Luke Haas is going to be a problem in the SEC at tight end. Yeah. So when you really start to think about what Ole Miss is returning, yes, 18 of 22.
Got to figure out the offense line. Got to figure out the run game.
But you're returning both tackles as long as they're healthy. You're returning an all SEC caliber right guard and Patrick Kudus if he can stay healthy because there's durability questions, but that's part of the give and take with the portal. But I'm saying what they're bringing back, a Cayden Lee doesn't get enough credit for how big of a returner he is. If you had to pick from last year's group one wide receiver to return, you're probably going to pick Trey Harris just because, he was
if you're assuming all things equal and healthy. Yeah, exactly.
But I'm not so sure that Cayden wouldn't still be the pick because of what he means to the room and how consistent he is as far as his availability and his ability he's a route ninja, and I think this is going to be a great year for him. This specific year as far as showing who he is both on and off, He's a more of a quieter guy, but he's really opened up. And now it looks like he's gaining some weight. My guy's always been a little stringy. Now he's looking a little big. It's just a really encouraging thing. But this also is the time where everybody's bigger, faster, and stronger.
Russ, that was so true.
We've all talked about it's really fun right now. It looks all good on paper. We don't know what we don't know yet.
Yeah.
But what we do know for now is that this is a team that's ready to contend again. We knew that before we came to SEC Media Days. It's only being reinforced when you talk to other people outside of our bubble.
Yeah.
Of our Ole Miss bubble that you and I live in every day.
Yeah.
Me even more than you now.
Yeah.
But you're into this bubble now too. It's interesting to hear national perspective and for them to feel the same way. They're like, do you think Ole Miss can win 9-10 games again? I was like,
good.
Yeah. And they're like, I do too. It's not like,
it's almost it's funny. SEC Media Days is used to be the all right. Well, we learn all this injury news, or we learn this, or who's trending at starting a key position battle, and coaches would kind of try to dodge it or whatever, but also go into it a little bit. Now it's obviously
it's all out there, man.
College football playoff. It's realignment. It's money.
Rev share,
all that stuff.
A lot of rev
But
share.
you know what we get to learn? We get to learn what everybody else really thinks kind of about their school that they cover, what they think about Ole Miss, maybe how the schedule plays out and how this and how that. It's a good information gathering period for us too, because you can open up the app on the Phil Steele, all these different publications, and you can also talk to sources at Ole Miss or whatever school you cover. But then you start bouncing it off.
That's right.
You trade a story here, trade a story there. You're like, all right, well, yeah, all right, maybe I need to look back at whatever and reevaluate how I feel about so and so. Or I'm really high on. I probably shouldn't say this, but I'm high on Arch Manning. I think he's going to be really good. I also think
I do too.
Austin
I'm just
Simmons
very bitter about it.
Yeah.
Not because he didn't come to Ole Miss,
because you want to cover him.
No, not because he didn't come to Ole Miss, only because it's Austin's the same player right now. They're in the same place, and yet Austin's Austin Simmons is a good little story, but Arch is getting this Heisman shine. It's bizarre.
So I get bitter because I'd rather be
and also not bitter.
Yeah. No, I know what you're saying, but you cover a team, you cover a player, you cover this, you cover that, and you feel like you know more about them, and you're like, why isn't X talking head or why media group giving more love to so and so? And it could be. I think Lenore Sellers could very well win the Heisman this year.
I do too. I'm more bullish on Lenore.
I know some people have said that already, but it's just I don't know. People need to dive into some of the more unknowns of the conference, rather than look at some of the guys that are known by name, and maybe they should just do a little extra dive, is what I'm saying. If they come to the same conclusion, fine. But sometimes it's just
easy. Well, I'm just going to put it this way. I think it's really funny. Well, you know what? This is what's Ole Miss girl is walking him around. Arch, I think that's
really?
so funny. The SEC's got her name's Whitney. She's wonderful. She used to work at Ole Miss. He's like, in a couple of days I got Arch. I'm like, well, that's another kick in the dick, and no, that's a joke. But it's really funny because you
see a star power like that. Obviously, at Texas already, that doesn't need it. It's right. It's kind of.
It's just he's getting this preseason shine, which I hope he goes out there and crushes it. Don't get it twisted. Cooper Manning's has been good to me for a long time. I like him a lot. I hope Arch goes out there and crushes. That's not what it's about. It's more about just still. You're right. The deeper dive into it for guys like Austin, for guys like Cayden Lee, even TJ Dottery. He's not going to get the preseason. I would be shocked if he's not all SEC by the end of the year, because if he's not, he didn't do what Ole Miss expects.
And then Ole Miss is 75 probably.
Yeah,
truthfully,
you think that's the floor?
No, I'm saying if Cayden Lee, who we're both very high on, and I think deservedly so, is somebody we're high on. If he doesn't have a good year, I'm not saying I
think Harrison.
I'm not saying Harrison and DeJon Stribling, they are, but I still think that slot. Position for Lane and that off. I don't know. It just
a good thing they got Deuce Alexander and Traylon Ray to back him up. But you're right. Cayden has to be Cayden.
Yeah.
Just like TJ. This is their time.
If Austin and Cayden have as good of a chemistry as we're hearing about, we're being told, then if they don't end up having that, then it's ooh.
Yeah, I mean that the chemistry that? And like TJ has to now go from the second leading tackler to leading tackler, right?
Yeah.
You got, but can Cam Franklin, make up for the lost production of a Jared Ivey and his and Jam Brown and really Xavier Harris, who I think is criminally under-talked about.
Yeah, no.
That's a player that has accomplished a lot in this league, that is an all-league caliber player that is going to be in the middle of their front seven for the majority of the snaps next year.
Yep.
There's guys like that are so like TJ, which kind of goes back to the whole Arch discussion.
Yep.
And Austin not getting the same time as him. But, it's knowing that and knowing that Ole Miss isn't getting that kind of, or certain guys aren't getting that kind of love, to hear them talk about it, they're just going, all right, how are they successful? Do you think the reload has gone? The days of Ole Miss retooling or just completely building back from the ground up are gone. Like that now it's about just reloading and going back for it again. And because everyone to a man around here, I said, look, Circus Sports has set the over under at 8.5. What do you say? And they go, over. Most of the people I've talked to now, some will go, oh, that's a perfect line, because it's hard because we don't know what the floor is. But you still look at where Ole Miss in the roster is, even with all the turnover. The transfer portal culture has changed it. You've got the number one receiver at Oklahoma State, the number one receiver at Penn State. Those are both returning starters. Daquan Wright is a returning starter. I mean, look across the board. And Ole Miss is ready to contend, and they're being treated that way here in Atlanta.
Well, we are presented by our friends at RiverLand Roofing, riverlandroofing.com, but also our friends at College Corner as well, hooking it up with some great
gave us
gear.
A little juice, Bill.
Yeah, I know. We thought we'd get Lane Kiffin to come by with Juice was here, but we got the helmet, special edition helmet there.
Two little helmets up here.
Yeah, they've got locations across Mississippi and in Oxford as well. The Oxford Commons, a great store there. Make sure you stop by and get geared up for the fall, and hit the link in our comments and description.
Look at that hat right there. Go get us. That's from College Corner. Like Scott said, hey, take this one with you to media days. That's clean right there.
That is clean.
Okay, so Scott and College Corner, man, they've been nothing but great to us, man. And we're so thankful for them.
Yeah, so appreciate them for supporting us, but we do want to toss it to our first interview.
Yes.
Cayden Lee.
My guy.
Got to go with Cayden Lee. Yeah, this is a fun one, and we hope you guys enjoy it. Again, presented by RiverLand Roofing and College Corner, live from SEC Media Days. We'll catch you after we get done with our interview with Ole Miss wide receiver Cayden Lee. Welcome back to Talk of Champions. We are now happy to be joined by Ole Miss wide receiver Cayden Lee. Cayden, what's going on, man? How are you?
I'm excited to be here. This is my first media day, and it's been terrific. So thank you guys for having me.
Tell me about the fit, man. How did you put it together?
I have to come like this.
Yeah.
So I like pink. Pink is one of my favorite colors. Have to see the shoes, but I feel like I'm doing it really good right now.
Mom didn't help though, right? You did it all yourself. A little bit. Because this right here, that's kind of clean.
That's mom. That's mom. That's mom. I can't lie.
That's mom. So what's it been like for you, man? Because like you said, this is a big year, not just for you personally, but for the team. But as far as like, you're a leader now. So much new. I mean, you're coming here to media days. You're one of the representatives. I mean, you're the last guy left, and there's some decorated guys in the wide receiver room. But for you, is this kind of like, it's leadership time? Like this is Cayden time, right?
Yeah. For me, I remember watching people come to this when I was in high school and in middle school. So now just to be here, it's amazing. But I feel like just taking that leadership role has been the next step for me, trying to be more vocal in the locker room and on the field. So I feel like that's what I've tried to improve on.
What's the summer been like? What about the new guys and all that kind of stuff? What have you seen from them? What's been your impressions? And what is the vibe like right now as far as workouts and just the belief in the locker room?
I feel like we really have a very positive vibe for all the new guys that we brought in. I know some people may think it's negative. Who's going to play? Who's going to do this? Who's going to do that? But I feel like the guys we brought in have been like very good character guys. So I feel like they just want the team to succeed.
What's it like working with Austin Simmons? Because he's young guy, but so mature. Obviously, he's graduated already. He's rolled through that quickly. Now ready to step in as quarter QB1. For you two, what's the chemistry like there?
Me and Austin have been friends for 2.5, 3 years now. We have a big relationship off the field as well as on the field. So I just feel like just being able to go up to Austin, tell him if he's slacking, or he'll come up and tell me if I'm slacking. Things like that has been very big for us.
What is something that about Austin that people maybe don't realize or aren't talking about as the lead up gets closer to the season with him?
Yeah. Well, I feel like his arm talent is second to none. I feel like he has like a cannon back there. but also, just how smart he is on the field. I mean, he's already, like you said, he's already graduated college, so he's been able to read defenses and coverages has been very big for us.
As far as you, man, you didn't have a single drop last year. You're a route ninja. I mean, there's so much about your game that's already polished and where it needs to be. But in the money year for the NFL, in the platform year, the stage year for you, what are you working on in particular? What's kind of like a point of emphasis for you to take your game to even another level, whatever that might be?
Yeah, I feel like a big point of emphasis for me is just focusing on yards after the catch. And I feel like I just had to get bigger. I put on 15 pounds this offseason, which is, I know.
For you,
I'm almost busting out the suit. But no, I'm just playing. But just trying to get a little bit bigger and a little bit more polished and everything.
As far as those new wide receivers, who's really impressed you with the spring? Because I know Harrison had a great spring.
Yeah.
And DeJon Stribling's accomplished so much replacing Trey and all of them, but you guys stepping in, what have you thought about?
I mean, we've brought in so many different talented receivers, from Caleb Odom, who's massive, to DeJon Stribling, Deuce Alexander, T. Ray, so everybody. I mean, we definitely have a very talented receiver room, and I feel like everybody has just been able to push each other to be better, including myself. So I feel like those guys are going to help me be better.
Last question for us as we close out with Cayden Lee. Your expectations both for yourself and for this team. I mean, it's got to be playoff or bust, right?
I don't think we really look at it like that. Okay. Our mindset has really just been to just go 1-0. I feel like that's what Coach Kiffin's been preaching to us, because everybody wants to talk about the SEC championships and national championships, but if you go out and lose the first game or lose a game here and there, that's not going 1-0. So you got to go 1-0 every day to be able to achieve those big goals.
Awesome. Cayden Lee, thanks,
sir. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate you. Yes,
Enjoy
sir.
the rest of your time. Cayden Lee was great there. Awesome. Love spending time with him. He doesn't play the video game.
That's what was shocking to me, because
he is a video game.
I told him this. Raymond Collins, in our first Rebel Gamers experience, beat me 83 to 23. It was something.
That's pretty tough.
I got.
But didn't you play with
Georgia State? But doesn't matter. I was playing Ole Miss's schedule, and he got Ole Miss.
He didn't even pull the starters on you.
Cayden Lee over here. No, he didn't pull the starters. He was trying to get an 80 burger.
Yeah.
But Cayden Lee ended up with 300 yards receiving, 5 touchdowns. I'm thinking I'll just get Kay to come play. And he leans over and he goes, "Yeah, I don't even play, man." I was like, "Well, did you at least like your overall?" And the thing, he's like, "It's fine. I don't even. It's whatever." All I know is he's an absolute beast in there, at least in my experience, because Raymond Collins destroyed me with him specifically. I think the world of that kid, man, and he's just good people. He loves Ole Miss, and I think the biggest takeaway for me was the way he's gained, because I've seen him since high school. He's been to camps, like we talked to Rusty Manziel. He had him at his camp, at the Georgia camp one time. He's a little string kid with that, right? Well, now he's still got that big old hair. But man alive, he's getting a little bigger. He's already a route ninja. I think that kid right there, there is no limit. There's nothing beyond his capacity as a wide receiver. Yeah, he's a little bit limited as far as his size.
Yep.
But there's nothing beyond his capacity. Great human being, even better football player. I think he's in for a massive year.
We have breaking news into the podcast.
This is big news, though.
This is a good segue between Cayden Lee and TJ Dottery, and then we're wrapping it up. But Hunter Elliott returns to Ole Miss for the 2026 season.
Boom.
This is big news.
Huge.
Also on a day that Ole Miss saw Grant Richardson get selected. Yes. So it was certainly a kick in the teeth there. But to have Hunter Elliott back, well, congratulations to him on the bag, first of all. But this is a huge piece of the puzzle for the Rebels next season.
It's the biggest piece for next year, because if you look at the MLB draft, here was the plan going in. Just don't make it hurt too much. You know what I mean? You knew you're going to get, all these guys were draft risks. When you went and signed Grant Richardson through the portal, you knew he was going to be a draft risk. When you went and signed Daniel Pasella from Illinois State, you knew he was going to be a draft risk. Will McCausland has been drafted. He could end up going. He's a guy that they hope to bring back as kind of like the bullpen ace in a lot of ways, that Mason Morris, who was the first Rebel off the board at 83. But Judd Udemark, we told you coming in at RebelGrove that, for a long time now, that Judd Udemark was likely to come back. I think that's obvious. I think at this point, Judd's coming. Will Furness coming back. You're returning right there with those two, plus Austin Foley, who announced today he is officially returning. He was draft eligible. He didn't get the number, or at least the draft slot that he was hoping to get. You're returning almost 60 home runs just with those three guys. So you knew offensively even losing Boy James, which maybe they get him because of where he was selected, and the Nats took some shortstops and maybe the number is not where it needs to be. I think they're going to pay him over slot and get him signed because like I think the Nats have the biggest pool of that kind of stuff of any team going into the draft. So I don't expect Boy James to come back, but even with not having him, even with having guys lost off of last year's team like Ryan Moorman, like Isaac Humphrey, like Mitch Sanford, this offense is going to be just as good, if not better, than last year. You eliminate some of the swing and miss, it could be even better. The key piece was who of the arms were you going to lose? Grant Richardson in the 6th round, that's tough. That's tough now. Now, do I think he's gone? Not necessarily, likely, not convinced he's gone. If you made me guess, he signed because But, I mean, crazier things have happened. Lance Lynn was a 6th-round pick and came to Ole Miss. I've seen that happen before. I would assume that Grant signs, but it all is rendered moot when Hunter Elliott is coming back. And I'm going to tell you, this man has the potential to be the greatest Ole Miss baseball player ever. And that sounds crazy, but it's true. Think about it. He led Ole Miss. He was the co-ace of Ole Miss's national championship team in 2022. This team on paper, even it hurt to lose Grant. It hurts to lose some people. Yes, I get that. But, man, the guys that haven't been taken, Will Libbert from Missouri, they think he's a potential weekend rotation guy. Marco Sipolis from San Diego State, they think he's a weekend rotation kind of guy. Cade Townsend was a top 100 perfect game prospect coming into Ole Miss, and he's going to be a sophomore. This is the year where, like with Gunnar, it was tough. It was up and down freshman year. Who's to say Cade doesn't take that second-year leap like Gunnar did and becomes ace potential, right? But all of that is more theoretical. Well, could Marco be that guy? Could Will be that guy? Could Cade be that guy? Hunter is that guy.
Yeah, you have no question when he's healthy.
He is that guy.
After showing it this year.
Yes, and if he pitches like Hunter Elliott pitches, this is already a contender for not just the postseason, but a better team on paper, in my opinion, with the additions they've made through the transfer portal. And last year they won 43 games and snapped a two-year NCAA tournament drought. I believe this team is better prepared to go compete. I think a regional is obvious, but this team is going to be a real contender for a national championship, getting to Omaha, even more so add rocket fuel to it because it's Hunter Elliott. And if he does do that, if he leads Ole Miss to Omaha and they make another run, go ahead and build another statue right by Tim Echo-Friend. And he goes down as one of, if not the greatest Ole Miss baseball players ever, bookending his historic career that he's dealt with so much with championship as a freshman, championship as a super senior. Oh, what a story it would be. But it starts with could you get him back? And I'm going to be honest with you. Yeah, everybody was saying the right things, but they weren't really expecting Hunter Elliott to be back. I mean, they were saying, well, it's not even a coin flip. It's like, probably a 57-yard field goal, to win it. But, you got a chance, and yet they got him in. That's a huge, huge ad. I mean, that's the biggest addition of all the additions all offseason. Yeah. Just getting Hunter back. I mean, that's a huge, huge thing.
All right. Well, without any further ado, we now go to our interview with Ole Miss linebacker TJ Dottery, and after that, we'll be wrapped up with our first day at SEC Media Day. So I hope you guys enjoyed the podcast live on location here in Atlanta. For Ben Garrett, I'm Billy Embody, wrapping it up for Talk of Champions, part of RebelGrove. So make sure you head over to the site, subscribe for just $1 for your first week, RebelGrove.com. And now we'll go to Ole Miss linebacker TJ Dottery. See you guys here back in Atlanta on Tuesday. Thanks for listening. All right, welcome back. We're here with Ole Miss linebacker TJ Dottery.
Yes, sir.
Man, looking good over there. You got the red, white, and blue ready to go. What's this experience like for you going into the season?
Man, this is awesome, man. The experience has been great. Just being able to be a leader for the guys coming in. I'm excited. This has been exciting.
All right, so how did you pick it all out? What all are you wearing? I see the watch is insane. You got the pocket square looking fresh, man. Okay, how did you come about the fit?
Man, my favorite color is blue, and Ole Miss has that blue in them, so I always had to come something blue with this little hint of red somewhere in there. Yes, sir. Yeah.
So what's it like for you to be here, man? Because, like, last time I talked to you, dude, you walking up the door like, Ben, I'm going to try to win the Buckets, man. Like, that's a goal for you. Like, does it feel like you're taking steps to be here at SEC Media Days, to be one of the reps and kind of stuff? I mean, this has got to be a pretty cool experience for you, and just the leadership component, going into this huge year for you.
Definitely, man. This is a blessing to be here, man. I'm excited. Thankful, to be a representation of the team and the defense. So, man, I'm excited, and I definitely think it's a step in the right direction.
What do you think about this team right now? The summer work, y'all been really involved in summer lately. Just what do you think about some new guys you've seen? the work that's gotten in, man. What's been the vibe over there? You know, if y'all been getting stuff done?
The vibe's been awesome. I think that the thing has been the guys are very hungry. I think everybody coming in who's been here, everybody's hungry. I feel like everybody has something to prove and everybody's ready to play.
All right, so the NCAA football game came out. I got to ask you, did you see your overall?
Yes, sir.
What do you think of your overall?
It's okay.
Okay. I mean, did you feel like you kind of got robbed a little bit?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So where did they miss it? Where did they miss?
Man, I can go all on day for that, but man, it's fine. It's whatever. It's a video game.
Yeah.
What is it like working with Pete Golding day to day?
Awesome.
For those of you who aren't who aren't in there, it's
amazing. The guy you see on television or on interviews or in person, he's the same guy every day, 24/7. So it's awesome. Just the vibe he brings in there. It's always energy. You know, he doesn't make the room feel it's hectic. You know, he makes it vibe. He makes it comfortable for everybody.
What'd you think of his interview on the square with Coach Beard?
It was awesome.
Did that get circulated a little bit?
Yes, sir. It was awesome. When I saw it, it was awesome. And that's exactly who he is, 24/7. That's exactly who he is.
And he straight up said no drop-off, man. And for y'all, that's probably the mindset, right? So, like, when you look around, I mean, do you see any kind of drop-off or anything like that? Like, what do you see from that group that y'all put together? It's new, a lot of it.
Yes, sir. New, but no drop-off. And I think that's what my job is as a leader, to make sure there's no drop-off from, you know, the standard that we have set in.
What have you seen from the newcomers, guys like Taj Chambers, Andrew Jones, Jaden Yates? I mean, what got some new faces?
Yes, sir. I think they're awesome. I think they're all athletic. I think that's one huge thing. All three of them are athletic, and then they've all been eager to learn and open to learn, man. Asking questions and just staying after it, getting extra reps, whatever it's been to just get better. They've been doing that.
Now, you were in a black no contact jersey in the spring. We've talked about this a little before.
Yes.
More for rest, right, for you. So how you feeling physically and like all that, man?
Amazing. I feel amazing right now. I'm ready to go. I feel amazing.
What is you get ready for fall camp? I mean, do you do anything a couple days before to kind of get away and then lock in, or are you just kind of full speed all the way through?
Full speed, and then those 3 days I go see family, you know, go see my family and just keep my feet up, talk to the fam, you know, get some good home cooking, and then get ready to, you know, just get back locked in and get going.
Awesome.
Yes, sir.
Ole Miss linebacker TJ Dottery, thank you for stopping by with us.
Yes, sir.
Champions.
My God.